Welcome back to the Cat Dad Show. I'm your host, Scott Colby. Now, we all want our cats to be healthy and live long lives. Well, stick around because today we're going to talk about a supplement that helps common cat health issues. And to do that, I've got a special guest, Dr. Gina Nick. Now, Dr. Gina is a world renowned naturopathic physician, a researcher, and formulator based in California. She formulated best daily ever glutathione Pixie Sticks, which we're going to be talking about as well. Dr. Gina, welcome to the Cat Dad Show.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Now, did you ever imagine you'd be on a cat podcast?
No, I didn't know that that existed. So,
Okay, made it up, but I'm glad to have you here. I want to dig right in and just talk about what is glutathione and what specific health benefits does it offer for cats?
sure. Yeah. So, glutathione, I refer to it as the mother of all antioxidants. So, antioxidants are extremely powerful. They neutralize free radicals. Free radicals are toxins that we're exposed to, our cats are exposed to, our humans are exposed to every day. Cats are particularly vulnerable to exposure to toxins. That they're just by virtue of their smaller body size. But whether it's mold, viruses, pesticides, environmental pollutants, even fighting off a viral infection, the cat's body will produce its own toxins. So toxins are free radicals. What those do is they congregate in what's called the mitochondria of our cells, of cat cells as well. So when I'm talking humans and cats, glutathione is great for both. It's great for dogs too, but it is highly beneficial for cats. So anyway, toxins go to the mitochondria of the cells, which is like the powerhouse of the cells. It's where energy is produced. And so, why is that important? Well, when toxins go there, they can cause DNA damage. And then that causes low energy, inflammation. It can cause aches, pain, making cats more vulnerable to infections. It can even cause problems with cognitive health in cats, and especially in older cats. And so detoxification, like removing toxins that the cats are exposed to, is very, very important for health, for longevity, for health, for preventing and treating health challenges. Glutathione is like the detox agent. It's like the powerhouse detox agent, or like I said, mother of all antioxidants. And so it will help to get rid of those toxins that are causing damage to the cells. Um, some of the main things that I see in terms of uses for glutathione in cats, one is for upper respiratory issues. So any sort of cough or upper respiratory issue, glutathione can be extremely powerful. For inflammation, it can help to lower inflammation. So if, your cat is struggling with that issue, if the vet says, hey, there's a lot of inflammation going on here, I would turn to glutathione to help deal with it. It's manufactured in every cell in the body. It's really a powerhouse. It's a tripeptide. What that means, it's a combination of three amino acids. And so, you were showing me that the L-lysine, that you've been giving L-lysine to your cats. So, and that's very helpful for immune function. So glutathione is a combination of three other amino acids, not L-lysine, that come together and support detoxification. And like I said, it's like the mother of all antioxidants. And I've been formulating nutritional supplements for many, many years, studying them, using them in my medical practice. I've helped to formulate supplements for the veterinarians as well. And glutathione is like this is the star. It's like the shining light in all. If I was going to pick one supplement to give to pets, it would be glutathione. It's manufactured in the body, right? And so you'd be like, well, why do you need it? Well, because they're exposed to so many more toxins, and I feel like human bodies, animals' bodies haven't really evolved to the point of being able to handle just the sheer volume of toxins that, we're all exposed to today. And so that's where introducing glutathione is like, to me, it's a no-brainer for helping to support what the body naturally does on its own to
And
maintain health.
Yeah, that's a great introduction explanation. I love it. Is glutathione something, a supplement that vets most vets know about and are prescribing to their patients to use with their cats and dogs, or is it relatively new in the animal space?
It is. I mean, even in the human space, it blows my mind. I kind of set out on a mission to make glutathione a household.
Mm.
I don't know if it's because it's a weird word, it's hard to remember. We coined the phrase vitamin G because easier to remember.
Mm.
But in the human world, while it's been used by doctors forever, there's over 100,000 clinical research studies on the use of glutathione, some of which are animal studies. Um, but in the human world, it's not used enough, in my opinion, and most people don't know about it. And so in the vet world, it's the same thing. Some of my colleagues who are holistic vets, they're familiar with it and they understand the value of it. But I wouldn't say it's commonplace by any stretch. I wish it was. I wish all vets and pet owners knew about it. And it's interesting with glutathione. Right now, I have dogs. I want another cat. I had a cat for a very long time and I miss it so much. However, when I just put glutathione in my hand, and glutathione does not taste good. It has like a sulfur taste to it. It's not something but I can just put glutathione without mixing it with a treat or anything. And my dogs will just lick it right off my hand. It's like they know, right? And with their own natural instincts know that it's good for them.
Mm.
Um, I haven't tried that with cats, but I want to.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, and glutathione, it's found in foods too, right? And so things like liver, Brussels sprouts, or not Brussels sprouts, for cats, broccoli sprouts, are a couple of sources of glutathione that so you can feed broccoli sprouts or liver to your cat. And your cat will get a boost of glutathione that way. Again, the body naturally makes it. So really you're just supplementing because again, there's such a high demand for glutathione in the body to help with detoxification. You want to make sure that they're getting enough in their body because their levels get depleted, just like in humans. In my medical practice, I will test to see if there's like a depletion of glutathione in my patients, and 9 times out of 10 there is.
Mm.
So it's very common these days.
Yeah, and I know you mentioned for cats a couple common health issues to treat them with glutathione is respiratory issues,
Yes.
inflammation. Would you also use it as just a kind of an everyday supplement, even if they didn't have problems, as a preventative measure?
I do. I mean, with my dogs, I do, and when I have a cat, I'm just gonna say when I have my next cat, when that cat introduces him or herself into our family, absolutely. I formulated a supplement called Best Daily Ever, and that was I called it that for a reason because it's about doing something day to day to support your body's natural detoxification mechanisms, and that's a very good way to prevent health challenges and support your body's just natural processes. And so introducing some every day is a good idea in a dose that kind of mirrors what you would find in food or that the body would naturally make.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And then how did your journey with glutathione begin? Like, what inspired you to focus on this supplement?
so when I was in medical school, I got really interested in detoxification. We went to like a detoxification healing institute and I got to interact with tons of people who had cancer, all sorts of different conditions. And I got to hear their stories of how doing things to support detoxification really helped them to heal themselves. And I was inspired by that. And so I started to research more and more about glutathione. And one of my first patients was actually a heroin addict when I started practicing 20 years ago, plus years ago. And he said, of all the things I did, because I would test for like the gut microbiome and nutritional deficiencies and hormone imbalances. And of all the things I did with him that I'd learned how to do in school, he said the glutathione is what had the biggest impact on him. So glutathione is used for helping with addiction, by the way, too. Yeah. And so that was in humans. And that kind of planted the seed. I was like, huh, this is important. And I would give injections of it in my practice. And then fast forward, I have three nephews, and one of my nephews was diagnosed with autism when he was young. And I kept telling my sister, we need to get glutathione into him. I just knew that would be extremely helpful. It is used, a lot of doctors will use it for patients with that are challenged and are on the autism spectrum. And so at the time, I wasn't going to give him an injection. He was a little boy. And the forms of glutathione that actually worked, because there's a lot of glutathione on the market where you take it orally, but it doesn't do anything. It's not bioavailable. So it's pretty much a waste. But there's a form called liposomal glutathione. And so that is, you have to keep it refrigerated usually, and it tastes gross. And so he wouldn't take it. And just like my patients wouldn't take it, like patient compliance was an issue because I knew glutathione is good for them, but not all of them wanted to get a shot. And not all of them wanted to take something every day that tasted gross. And so that planted another seed back then, And now, fast forward, my nephew he's turning 16. I'm actually going to be going to his birthday party this Sunday. And he takes the glutathione pixie sticks every day. But my sister reminded me, hey, you were even back then, you were talking about how there's a lack of availability of a glutathione that would actually be helpful, for kids, that kids would actually want to take. So that was allowed for more inspiration. I was hired by a company that makes glutathione to research it in my practice. And so then I was being paid to
Okay.
really do a deep dive. And most doctors, you don't have the time to do like this type of research where you're just really diving in deep. And so because I was hired to do it, I did. And I was blown away by what I was reading. Just the research behind the use of glutathione is next level. Um, and so I was able to get access to a form of glutathione that's stable, that you can take orally, and that works because I researched it and I used it in my own practice.
So yeah, you formulated a Pixie Sticks version of it
Yeah.
called Best Daily Ever. And
Yes.
that was specifically initially because you wanted kids to be able to have an easier time taking it. And prior to that, how would they take it? Injection or pill or
Injection or what's called liposomal, which
okay.
tastes gross. So I was like, I want to come out with a form that tastes like candy, but doesn't have sugar in it.
Mm,
And I added other things like vitamin C that helps. It works with glutathione. It's another antioxidant. So I added vitamin C and vitamin D3 and zinc and magnesium and glycine. So I added other things to the Pixie Sticks. So that's a real comprehensive immune support, brain health formula.
okay.
I had started with capsules. So I have a capsule product that's just glutathione and vitamin C. But the Pixie Sticks were really inspired, really by my nephew to get a form out there that was going to be that he would take. So
And the Pixie Sticks, would that be what adults and like animals like cats would take as well?
no, so for cats, I would just do the straight capsules.
We can have
Yeah, yeah. And the dosage, it depends on the weight of the cat and also any health conditions that the cat has or doesn't have, And so I always say, just like I do with humans, always run any supplements you're going to be giving your cat by your vet,
okay.
right? To make sure it's safe for them. But if they look at the research, they'll see, okay, yeah, it is safe. In most cases, or beneficial. But I always encourage, pet owners to work with your vet or, a qualified health practitioner, that knows what would be good for a cat, you know.
Could you tell us a little bit more about the process and challenges of coming up and developing the formulation of the Pixie Sticks?
Yes, it's been quite a journey. Here they are, by the way.
And
This is
congratulations, by the way. That can't be easy.
No, no, it was not easy.
Let
No.
me
So here's the capsules. That
okay.
was easier. I've been formulating nutritional supplements for since I started in medical school. I mean, and I would say it's like, one of my superpowers has been
Yeah.
product formulation. So I love creating nutritional supplements and formulas. But anyways, I started with capsules because glutathione doesn't smell good and doesn't taste good. It's easy to take in a capsule. This is the form that you would, want to run by your vet. See if you keep. The pixie sticks, the kids ones look like this. They come in a box. I just opened this box, but this that
Right.
fruit punch flavored, and it's just a powder, and you can just take it, like just put on your tongue or mix it in some water, and it tastes like a pixie stick, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
So in terms of
How do we not take too much?
yeah, and so there's a daily dose. So
Yeah.
for adults, they can take 2 of these little packets a day, or we have a longer stick that's just for adults.
Okay.
It's twice the size. Or for kids, this is the dose. So that's how you know you're not taking too much. I'm a big fan with supplements of only giving your body what it needs. So I don't like using high doses of anything unless it's like if your body has a specific deficiency, right? Then yeah, I give it a high dose of that particular nutrient. But for daily use, and I'm all about doing something daily that supports detoxification because we're all exposed to toxins. Cats are exposed to toxins all the time. They're particularly vulnerable to like mold, and exposure to viruses and things like that. And upper respiratory infections can be a real problem with cats. And so doing something every day, giving them something daily that's going to support their immune system and support their upper respiratory health. That makes sense to me. So then if you're going to give it every day, don't do a high dose every day. Just
Mhm.
give an amount that you would find naturally in food or that the body's naturally making. You're just supplementing. You're working with the body so that it can operate at its best while maintaining balance. Something interesting about glutathione when people started to find out about this and it became more popularized, like, and a lot of people are going to get IVs of glutathione, for example, it'd be like, I want a high dose because more is better. This is the mother of all antioxidants. It's like the best thing since sliced bread. It does all, it helps with your skin. It helps with immune function and inflammation. It helps your brain. There's all these amazing things it does. However, it's under what's called tight homeostatic control, which means your body is constantly keeping your glutathione levels at a certain amount. So more isn't better. It'll just get rejected.
Mm.
So that's where when I looked at formulating this particular product, I wanted to be an amount that would work with the body. And so that it wouldn't get rejected or add any more stress to the body. It would just be giving your body a boost, a little help to support detoxification.
Um, is there any you said there's a lot of research in this. Is there any studies that have been done that shows that glutathione helps prevent some of these kind of major health issues in cats, like kidney disease, or a lot of dogs get cancer? Can it help prevent some of these?
So there are animal studies, not specifically on cats.
Okay.
But when there's studies that are done on dogs, for example, and oftentimes humans,
Mm.
as long as it's safe for cats, right? And so it's not like something that cats can't take, you can kind of extrapolate that it's probably going to be beneficial for cats as well. Um, just like, with actually like nutrition and foods, giving your cat whole foods, like when they say cook for your animals, right? It can be similar to the foods that you might eat.
Mm.
And that's typically the best thing for your cats versus kibble or canned food.
Yeah.
One of my dear vet friends, he always says, I can treat a lot of conditions just by getting rid of the kibble. And he's real adamant about that. And he's an old time. He's 70 years old. He's been practicing a long time, very well respected. And he's come to the conclusion that, a lot of the health challenges that dogs, cats face can be helped if not treated or prevented and treated with nutrition, period. And then the medications and surgery and those things are used as needed. But these days, just like with humans, the incidence of chronic health diseases in pets and humans is just off the charts with diabetes and heart disease and cancers. The incidents are so much higher now than they were before. And what he feels is going on based on his research and his clinical experience is a lot of this is due to the quality of the food that we're
Mhm.
feeding our pets.
Um, I know we talked before we pushed record uh, on this episode about just nutrition in pets, and that's something I think I want to explore a little bit more in some of these interviews, is getting more on the kind of the health side of things and nutrition. And now that I have two cats, I'm kind of starting over. My
Mhm.
two other ones made it to 16 and 20, but would love to keep these two 1-year-olds as healthy as possible for as long as possible. So I wouldn't mind kind of digging into that research myself and learning more about the quality of nutrition that can affect a cat positively and help
Yes.
stave off those diseases and stuff.
Especially, these days, again, the volume of toxins that we're all exposed to is so much higher than it was decades ago.
Mm.
I mean, that's just a fact. And we know that those toxins cause disease.
Yeah.
And so if you just get down to the basics. So what are the things that we can do to make it so our cats are less exposed to toxins and then support our cat's ability to detoxify from whatever it is they are still exposed to.
Yeah.
And so diet is a source of toxins.
Hmm. Yes.
And it like slows everything down, So I have a 21-day group purification program that I do with humans.
Well,
Part of the process is removing what I call barriers to cure, removing the stuff that bogs down the detox system. So it's not just taking glutathione or taking things, not just adding things, but what are you removing so your body can do what it naturally does?
Okay.
Makes sense? And
Yeah.
so that's where diet, removing processed in humans, you're removing processed foods. In cats, it would be reconsidering the can and the kibble foods, or if you're giving them, looking at which ones are you using, and that would be a whole other conversation, looking at the quality of the cat food.
Yeah.
But I mean, Dr. Coward, my colleague, who's very well respected, he would say, cook the food for your
Make
pets.
it okay. Make it.
Yeah, and I have dogs right now, and I started doing that, and it's funny. One night, I said to my daughter, "What do you want for dinner?" And she goes, "Dog food."
Look,
Don't worry, it smelled good,
bring it
like animal protein,
human grade, I guess.
turkey, and fresh veg, whatever veggies I had on hand.
Yeah.
Got a little rosemary, some little herbs in there, just clean food, and the dogs love it. And
Mm.
I know, I'm helping them to stay healthy and well.
I know sometimes we almost like we take care of our pets better than ourselves sometimes. Like, I make sure my cats go to the doctor regularly, the vet, and I don't always do that for myself. Sometimes maybe we might cook food for the pets and not ourselves. So I good to hear that you're getting into that. Now, I know you've mentioned earlier, I think when we were chatting and you're interested in coming and being a guest, that you give your horse, Ken, right? Uh Ion. And tell me, was this for any specific ailment he had, or was it just more of like a daily supplement to keep him as healthy as possible?
Yeah, so we got Ken a year ago for my daughter's 11th birthday. She got surprised with a horse, lucky girl.
Yeah.
But he was an older horse. And so he was not in tip-top shape. And I started to give him different supplements, different nutritional supplements, because that's what I do. It's, my profession. I couldn't help but do that. But I added Best Daily Ever, the capsules, this product. And I've been doing that for about a year. Well, since we got him. And my daughter's trainer, she made two comments. One, she said, "Gina, if I come back as a horse, I want to come back as your horse."
Well,
And she would see me mixing, all the food and giving him the best daily ever and opening up the bag, giving capsules every day. But also, she was like, "What are you giving him? Because his coat is gorgeous now. He's more energized. He's aging backwards. He's really, I mean, it's amazing." And what's changed? I've changed what he's taking, but I give him glutathione every day. And I'm adamant about that. And I'm actually looking at creating a glutathione supplement for dogs, cats, and horses for the equestrian world as well. So that's my next project after this one.
We'll have to bring you
Mhm.
back. Do you have any success stories or case studies involving? I mean, you work with humans, right?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
involving humans, really, that have experienced positive changes due to glutathione.
Oh, yes. And if you go to bestdailyever.com,
Mhm.
my patient testimonials are on there.
Okay.
And they're really amazing. I mean, everything from not getting sick, so one of my patients did a testimonial. He travels like 300 days out of the year, is exposed to everything. And since he started taking Best Daily Ever, he's just doesn't get sick. And
Mm,
so he really likes it. A lot of women, I was surprised by this. I didn't actually create the product for this purpose, but it turns out it's super helpful for women who are going through perimenopause and menopause.
yeah,
So that
okay.
can be anywhere from age 35 on, to 55
Mhm.
plus. There's that whole time when a woman's hormones are declining, and it causes so many symptoms, everything from sleep disorders to, low sex drive, not being able to think clearly, poor memory, low energy. I mean, mood swings, and the feedback on you just taking Best Daily Ever has been amazing at helping to regulate all and
Mm,
just kind of keep women balanced, even if they're not taking hormones, like
mm.
even if they're not taking estrogen or whatnot. And so we just had some really neat testimonials, and we're still collecting them. But so far, so good. For kids, we're getting for the pixie sticks, for the kids, things like my son had a sore throat and took a pixie stick and it literally just went away
Wow.
instantly, to improvements with digestion, energy. And so we're getting a lot of, we have a lot of case studies actually. But we're collecting them, by the day because it's a new product. But I was using this formula in my practice for 5 years before I came out with this product. And so,
Yeah. Nice. I want to switch gears a little bit and talk about animals and their impact on human health.
yes.
You're around animals a lot with, your own home. I am as well. But in what ways do you think animals, and it doesn't have to be cats, even though this is the cat dad show, but in what ways do you think animals can positively impact human health and well-being?
Well, cats absolutely can, but I miss having a cat. Cats, dogs, horses. There's a lot of research on the impact that they have on balancing out cortisol levels. So cortisol is your stress hormone,
Mm,
and these days people's cortisol levels are all over the place,
yes.
because we're exposed to so much more stress than before. And so that whole thing about an emotional support animal, that didn't come from, that came from somewhere, because they truly do provide nervous system regulation. So when, we're feeling anxious or depressed or stressed, being in the presence of a pet, a loved pet, can help to just neutralize that. In terms of horses, there's a lot of research on the use of horses for that purpose as well. In kids dealing with things like anxiety, being around horses would be like the best treatment, even better than therapy. I was
Well,
talking to a friend of mine who's a therapist, and she was like, I'm a therapist, and I will say if a child can be around a horse, that's like the best therapy, big picture wise, that she sees over her years in clinical practice. She's just seen it makes the biggest difference. At the end of the day, I'm interested in results, what's actually going to work.
yeah.
And, being around animals that you love, there's no drug that's going to give that same effect,
Mm,
which is helping with nervous system regulation.
yeah.
So it can be a really calming effect. And then, of course, for me personally, I don't know if there's research, I don't know what research would be out there on this, but to me, dogs, which is what I have right now, of horses, reminds me of what unconditional love is. And so it's like a constant reminder of what it is to be unconditionally loving and to receive unconditional love. And, what human wouldn't benefit from that?
Yeah. Yeah. I love it. I went to a pet loss memorial celebration here in Knoxville, put on by University of Tennessee and their vet social work department. and they invited people. They do really good work. They actually, if you live in Tennessee and have lost a pet, they'll give you 6 free grief counseling sessions. Really amazing. So I went to a couple, and that's why I got invited to this pet loss memorial celebration. So everybody there had lost a pet. And the facilitator, we were almost done with the celebration, and he asked, reflect on what your pets taught you. And so we all reflected on it. And then he asked, does anybody want to volunteer what they came up with? I volunteered, and I said, with my cat that had passed away, they were named Nomar and Mia. And, you know, they would do something wrong. I'd scold them, get mad at them. And then like 5 seconds later, they were like curling up with me, licking me like nothing had happened. Like I'm still their best friend and they want to be around me 24/7. They didn't care if I had just gotten mad at them. And that's that unconditional love. And I was like, gosh, I wish I treated humans better. Like I might get in an argument with a loved one, a human loved one, and hold grudges, or we separate for half a day or whatever the case may be. And so that was something that my pets had taught me, that unconditional love. And back to your point of like, reducing stress, nothing like just petting an animal, whether it's a dog, a horse, or a cat, and just feeling that stress kind of come down,
So good.
just and bringing out that calm. And I'm a big believer in the benefits of being outside in nature, and I think
Yes.
can have a very similar benefit, like you said, better than any pill, any drug that we can give people. So pets in nature are, I think, where it's at for me, of course.
And I mean, the research shows it to be true, and I'm a huge advocate. Like, it seems like on all the any interview I give, I'm talking about the benefits of being outside in nature, listening to the sounds of nature, how that helps to regulate that stress
Mhm.
hormone. So spending time in nature is so important. Better yet, spending time in nature with your beloved pets.
Yeah.
Is there
Eh,
anything better? I don't think there's anything better than
no. I wish I could take these cats outside. I know some people do. I'm keeping them indoors.
that.
Yeah, it's amazing when you can combine the two. And just to kind of wrap up this part of the conversation, I'm in a Facebook group of pet loss grief, and people are posting in there basically like right after they lose their pet, and they're saying that they miss their pet so much, the pet got them through so many hard times in life, and they don't know how they're gonna live without them.
Mhm.
And for me personally, I live alone, and so, the gap between having the 2 cats that passed away, and then I was, didn't have any pets for a while, just
Mm.
the companionship that pets can help you overcome some loneliness issues,
Oh,
I
yes.
think is very real as well. And so I just wanted to, kind of reiterate what we've talked about, how amazing they are for our well-being.
They're such a gift. And my daughter is a huge animal lover, and so she actually volunteers at a vet office because she
Mm.
just loves
Yeah.
it. And her favorite place to be is at the barn. Like, that's where, her favorite place in the world to be is at the barn. She could live at that barn, she'd live at the barn, and so it's really powerful. And one of my dreams with her is to have an animal sanctuary.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of combined with I'm very big on biohacking and regenerative medicine. And so I want to have like a retreat for, in this case, mothers and their children, just because of my own experience as a mother. I'm like, that inspired it. And then adjacent to that, an animal sanctuary. And my daughter came up with this idea. And that's, by the way, I want it to be where the proceeds from these products goes to the building of that.
Oh,
So
beautiful.
when I created the Pixie Sticks, have you heard of the 5-hour energy drink?
Yes.
Yeah. And so you know how like 99% of the proceeds go to funding projects that help to heal the planet. And
Oh,
so that's like this is like my 5-hour energy,
I love it.
right? That's the deal there. Like the real intention behind it. But anyway, she had this great idea. She woke up one morning, she's like, I know what we're going to do. So we're going to help rehabilitate the animals,
Mm.
right? Like and companion animals. And then as these children come with their moms to the retreat, we will offer that one, an animal would graduate from the sanctuary and become a companion animal to the child while at the retreat. And my daughter had it all laid out so in so much detail where, there would be the bed, and at the base of the bed, whether it was a bunny, a cat, or a dog, have their little bed there. But each child would get to connect with one companion animal that would be kind of theirs for the time they're there to kind of experience that healing and hopefully inspire mom to, if they don't have pets already, to want to adopt a pet and bring them home. So
Love it. I love the vision. Do you know where you might have this?
Hawaii,
Hawaii.
Kauai. My daughter was born there, and
Oh,
so
okay.
it's
Yes.
functional alignment with Kauai.
Wow, what a vision. One of the grief counselors at UT that I saw, she actually has a farm
Mhm.
not too far from the university. It's probably 20, 30 minutes away, but she uses it's called a care farm, and the animals there, she has retreats there where she helps show the animals will help the people on the retreat get through some of their grieving. And it's not just pet loss grief. These people may have lost, a loved one to suicide or something like that.
Mhm.
That the power of the animals in helping people get
Yeah.
over grief even can be really big and impactful.
Yeah, and so that's gonna be our next step is to go visit some of these other places where they've had similar visions and have, brought them to fruition. Um, so yeah.
Yeah, I love it. I want to kind of begin to wrap up one more final topic about your journey as a female entrepreneur. What motivated you initially to start your own business, and what challenges have you faced as a female entrepreneur? In the wellness industry.
A lot of challenges. What was the first part of the question?
I said, what motivated you to
What was it?
start your own business?
To be it's like I never thought of anything else.
Mm.
Like, it was never even an option not to, right? To have my own practice and then I created a consulting company, so I would consult for other nutritional supplement companies. I would create their products, and they would do really well, and, a couple of my colleagues were like, "Gina, why are you making all these other companies so much money? You should have your own supplement company." And so that was it. However, with that, there are so many moving parts. It's not easy. It's kind of a 24/7 thing where I'm working on my businesses. Thankfully, it's doing things that I'm super passionate about. And they have a purpose behind them, and that's really important to me. So like with this nutritional supplement company, it's a lot harder than running a medical practice and being a doctor. This is definitely a challenge for me. There's a lot of moving parts, even though I've been in the supplement industry for 20 years. So I know the ins and outs, and I've consulted and I've been an executive, all that. But having your own and having, where you're responsible for all the moving parts from packaging to, I'm very, very passionate and focused on the quality of the products. And so these days, it's like you have to be on top of where is each one of the raw materials coming from? Where is it being sourced? Making sure that the product is being tested, that what is listed on the bottle is actually what's in the product.
Yeah.
And even beyond that, that the quality of what's listed on the bottle is a quality that it's actually going to end up benefiting the animal or the human, right?
Mm.
So there's a lot to it. And so as a female, I've run into challenges. When I was director of research at Standard Process, let's just say there weren't a lot of female executives there at the time. And so there was a lot of pushback, and I had to deal with a lot of politics. And what got me through all of it was just a genuine desire to create supplements and natural medicines that are going to work to help change people's lives on a grand scale. And that's the same thing that I would say today is what really drives me to push through the many, many challenges of being a female entrepreneur in the industry is because of what I want to do, and so there's a huge purpose and passion behind it. And that's what drives me to continue and to succeed.
Yeah, I think you hit on that purpose and passion. I think entrepreneurial life can be, no matter who you are, can be a really rocky roller coaster ride. You have to persevere. Yeah, I'm gonna add a third P. So passion,
There
purpose,
you go.
Varen.
I
Right.
try to.
Wow. Three P's to entrepreneurship. Yeah. So I know you mentioned your future vision of the sanctuary, but in the immediate future, um, what what are you innovating? What's on the horizon for you?
So my next, I need to really focus on the pixie sticks and get them, going because literally just got these in.
Okay. Brand new.
And so, but my next, I've already got the formulas in my head, and so I want to create glutathione supplements for dogs, cats, and then for horses.
Okay.
So, and then I'm working on a glutathione skin cream as well. But really, it's the animal line is my next project.
Beautiful. I love it. Remind us, I know we've mentioned your website. Remind us your website again, how we order, and then how we keep up with all of the new things that you're going to be innovating over the next months and years.
So the website is bestdailyever.com. And then just for my medical practice, it's drgina.com.
Okay.
drgina.com.
Perfect. Easy enough. You
Yeah.
have two easy to remember websites. That was smart.
Ooh.
Mm. Well, Dr. Gina, I want to just acknowledge you for the work you're doing. I know this is a cat specific podcast, but really you're doing great work on humans, cats, horses, dogs. We're all going to benefit from this. I can't wait to kind of dig in more into glutathione on my own and try it out on my cats. But yeah, I really want to acknowledge you. I mean, you're making the world a better place, and I wanted to thank you for doing that.
Thank you. Thank you. And try it for yourself too.
Okay, yes, I forget.
Pet owners, we need to take care of ourselves too.
Taking growing for our pets. I trust you will do that. We can share. I can share a supplement with my cats. That's great. Yeah. But and then also, Dr. Gina, thank you for. I know you have a really busy schedule. Thank you for taking the time
My
to
fun.
join us on the Cat Dad Show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
And everybody watching, thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you next time. Bye, everybody.